And that leads me right into a news story here, local news story. I saw this an hour before we started recording.
Beautiful.
There's no visual to this really, but I'll read through, skim through some of the big points of this. Coming soon to all New Jersey students, lessons in debunking. Students at a Hasbrook Heights High School, which is in North Jersey, were contemplating which conspiracy theory to explore and refute. The CIA orchestrating JFK's assassination, 9/11 being an inside job, the Earth is flat, or the moon landing being staged, among others. They were learning skills that will soon be required for all New Jersey students. Critical thinking, effective research, and how to evaluate information. All of these revolving around conspiracy theories.
Wow. What would you pick?
Out of that, you know what? They actually...
You have to, like, investigate these and see coming up with the most tangible evidence or something?
Well, no, it's more Governor Murphy signed a law making New Jersey the first state in the United States to require K-12 lessons in how to tell reliable information from fiction and navigate a world rife with alternate facts and research rabbit holes.
Yeah, from a fucking politician.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And yeah, now the teachers are going to be telling people, like, listen, here's your average conspiracy theorist. And they're going to show some fucking nut job who's like whacked out of their mind with a tinfoil hat on. And then
we're literally teaching conspiracy theory now.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's how to debunk it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know how much these kids were even thinking about it beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? They are going to be using, here's what they say.
All of a sudden, they're like, 9/11 was an inside job?
They're like, wait a second. 9/11
My dad was in that tower. What are you talking about?
They're going to be, like he says here, they're going to be using information from nonprofit groups to help students navigate the web, including the News Literacy Project, Common Sense, and PBS.
We should be teaching you dumbasses, Phil Murphy, dude.
Yeah.
You navigate Wikipedia better, dog. These kids, they know the internet. If there's one thing these kids know, it's the fucking internet.
Now, let me get you could you imagine these teachers going in there and let me get you really excited about learning what's right in the news? Have you guys ever followed PBS on Twitter? Like,
yeah,
it's like good.
What's also interesting is that all of the conspiracy. So, what were they again? So, there's JFK assassination.
Oh wait, no, he gave specific examples,
because
and
a lot of them are government related. So, what if they start investigating? They get to the bottom of some of these, and they're like, "Oh wait, you guys actually did do a lot of this shit."
Well, that's the problem.
Like JFK is like, how much of a conspiracy theory is that even?
Well, that's what they're trying to say. They're saying from the get-go with a bias that all of these things are fake, and we're going to teach you how to tell that they're fake. And here's the ones that they gave. The most interesting.
So the magic bullet they're stating is like, nope, that still stands. That is not conspiracy. They're like, you're crazy if you think that.
They got very specific with them. These are the choices they gave the kids in one class. This is just a detail of one class. He asked the kids what they wanted to hear most about conspiracy-wise. The number one choice was 9/11 being done by George W. Bush. Number two was JFK assassination by the CIA.
These kids got their fingers on the pulse, baby.
Number three was the Holocaust being a myth.
Okay, that's where it gets a little dicey.
Yeah, it gets a little dicey.
Look at Kanye West.
And then
soon to be Kanye East.
Tied East Germany. Yeah.
East China.
Yeah. And then tied for fourth out of the most popular ones were Princess Diana's death and thinking the earth is flat. Now, Princess Diana's death. Say what you want about it being a conspiracy. This is wrong. You can't say it from the get-go. But don't you think it's a little fishy that Princess Diana's driver, who was also killed in the crash, that people refute that he actually wasn't drunk? He made $35,000 a year. The next day, when they went through all his records, found he had $250,000 in his bank account. I mean, what could possibly? No, let's just ignore all of that. Right. Whatever USA Today said about it is the fact, is the truth.
Yeah, that's crazy. That and the JFK assassination, like there is what's his name, has a new documentary,
Oliver Stone,
Oliver
right?
Stone,
yeah.
with a ton of very interesting details about it. You
Yeah.
know, obviously I can't recite them on the podcast, but they debunk a lot of the stuff that the government has told us and the media has told us about that for since the 60s. Yeah. And Princess Diana, I've always been a die guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we should get to the bottom of these.
I think we should as well, but they're so specific about 9/11 being done by George W. Bush. Maybe not done by George W. Bush. Somebody had a hand in something. What happened to the $3 trillion that Donald Rumsfeld talked about the day before?
Yeah, they should have,
I mean,
maybe had that specific in there.
I have never wanted to teach a class in New Jersey as much as I want to teach this class. I'm going to go in there.
I would love to take this class.
Yeah, you know what?
And get some good information.
No, because I'm going to be bringing in thought leaders in the space of conspiracy theory. We're going to stop people from thinking of conspiracies. First guy I'm bringing in, the gym teacher. He's going to come right on in and be like, listen, let me dispel any facts that I fucked that 10th grader. And we're going to go through all the facts, the evidence. We're going to debunk it.
That would have been a great class this could have been. I could have just in high school, came home, told my dad all of these theories and just be like, dude, you got to just let me just hear you rant for an hour and I'm going to record all this and write a paper about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that would have
boom.
been great.
Yeah.
Just come right on home and it's just like, tell me what you saw on Tucker last night. And then it's just,
oh shit, dude. This fucking earth is flat.
this fucking earth is flat. The they thems are taking us over. And but yeah, it's just
Interesting.
The teacher is quoted in here saying that kids just aren't interested in the news. They just watch whatever's on TikTok. So their plan is to be like, hey, put down that TikTok shit. Let me show you pbs.org. Like,
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. I mean, I guess I can get my head around the sentiment of just bringing more interesting topics to look into. Like,
yeah,
you know, that would be something that you're more inclined to listen to in high school, of like, you know, something exciting that was a huge event versus like, you know, I don't know, reading some boring book when you're talking about things that, you know, people are generally curious about. Yeah, like I think that's a good thing, but I'd be curious to see how they go about it.
They basically are trying, like Phil Murphy's whole thing signing it in is just like, listen, there's a lot of fake news. There's a lot of conspiracy theories going around. Of course, with COVID vaccine stuff, it went through the roof. It's coming out like crazy. Like now you see how many young men are just like dying of like heart attacks now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, they were shutting a lot of shit down. It turned out to be true. But the problem that I have with this is that I searched right now on Google for Princess Diana conspiracy theory. They're talking about using reputable sources, right? Here's the sources on page 1 of Google for this: ABC News, Independent, The History Channel, Wikipedia, Newsweek. Microsoft has a link for Buy Diana Conspiracy Theories on the Microsoft Store. YouTube, there's Newsweek. People are like, they know that people are searching for it and they're interested in it. Even Reader's Digest did a story.
Where can you get just, you know, unbiased, accurate information these days? It almost seems impossible.
The New York Post and Yahoo News are covering, like, here's why people think Princess Diana was murdered. And they will give you a list of 10 different reasons why. They don't say, like, none of these are true, the people are batshit crazy, because they know people are searching for it and they want the ad views on their. So, like, that class has got to be interesting. I mean,
you know what's going to be the most interesting part about it is they're going to start this class and they're going to have a couple of whiz kids who get in there and go, guys, I actually figured out what happened. Like they find like they do some really good research and they find the actual answers. That would be amazing. You get enough people looking, someone's going to come across something.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be diving into different conspiracy theories. And that's the one thing in there is that they're showing videos of like how you engage a conspiracy theorist in this class. Like, you can't get in a shouting match. You have to bring facts to it. You try and be humor. Humor desensitizes people a lot. It's like they're going to take that as like roasting. Like, hey, no, you're
yeah.
like,
Some of those are good points and interesting lessons. Like if you are arguing with somebody, like try to keep a cool head about yourself. Don't get angry. Don't just start shouting your opinions. Come with, you know, facts to support yourself.
Yeah.
Like
that's all valuable.
Yeah,
valuable lessons.
Good advice there. But
he's signing into law to make this mandatory in all New Jersey schools. I don't think it's mandatory. I could be wrong. I don't think it's mandatory for them to talk about any actual real life things like taxes and mortgage rates
or nutrition or I mean, I'm sure, you know, they have
here's
nutrition
our food
classes.
Here's our food pyramid as we've discussed.
Yeah, I wonder if they've updated that. But you know, taxes, you know, me and Sam were just talking about this the other day, how valuable it would have been if you had a class in high school that would teach you how to invest in real estate.
That absolutely would have been.
Just like how to
or how it works.
Good practices, you know, how real estate works, how to put a down payment on a house, how to save, you know, to pay off debt, all of these things that you're going to run into in life, how valuable that would be. And also just lessons on how to build wealth.
Exactly.
You know?
That stuff makes sense. And then you could just hear a kid be like, hey, can we talk about closing costs? It's like, shut the fuck up. We're talking about Princess Diana conspiracies today.
Yeah, this is important. You're going to run into this in life.
You're going to run into this. You're going to have some nut job that message you on a Facebook group chat telling you that this is all. It's just these teachers like spouting their own personal experiences.
Yeah. What's interesting about that is like part of me can think that this is a good idea to be like, hey, like you should learn how to figure out what's real and what's fake and learn how to really look into subjects. But the other part is, you know, whoever's teaching these classes, are they really just gonna, you know, kind of jam down your throat what they believe, you know, their opinion of what they think is real or what's not real, and then just kind of enforce their opinions on what is facts, you know, what is factual around that stuff, to raise a whole generation to think the way that they just think the way they want them to think.
Yeah, exactly. And I just hope they don't bucket, like, we can have a sensible conspiracy discussion, such as like the Titanic not actually sinking. That makes sense to most people.
Yeah, I don't think that
it was one of the greatest.
That old bird was even on that boat.
Yeah, it wasn't even on. Yeah, the greatest maritime insurance scam in the history of man. And J.P. Morgan Chase was supposed to be on the boat, and then miraculously pulled out a day before and got his art collection off of the Titanic. Suddenly, and all his other billionaire buddies. But, you know. Is
that true?
That is true. Yeah, we can go into the entire Titanic conspiracy theory. Maybe I find somebody on Reddit that can tell me about it even in depth more than I do. They swapped ships because they knew that they were going to bank on insurance money from it, and all the rich people pulled out the day before. But like that, but then they also group in like people that talk about like, hey, like maybe JFK was killed by the government because his ties with the mob and the Cuban Missile Crisis happened and all this stuff. People that have a sensible argument and look at like an Oliver Stone type of thing get lumped in with the people that say the moon's made of cheese.
That's where it gets tricky, where it's like, hey, you know, not saying that is exactly what happened, but there might be some other things that we're not being told. That are, you know, that are real.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not, you know, a crazy, you know, conspiracy theorist just because you might say like, I'm not sure if I believe all of that.
Yeah. I question things. This is, if anything, going against critical thinking and questioning things. They're kind of not teaching kids to go against that, I would say. But, you know, they're looking at certain sources, but those same sources talk about these same things. I don't know. It could go, there's a right way to do it. It could very well be beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people might go the opposite direction.
Like, it depends on how they grade that, where it's like, I guess you can't really say like, as long as you grade the students on, hey, do you have reputable sources? Do you make a strong argument and things like that?
Yeah.
Versus being like, no, that's not what happened. It's like, well, who's to say? I guess
that would be perfect. We could turn this into a sketch. A kid having, you know how he had to present book reports or a diorama.
Presenting a conspiracy theory, and then
you have to present a conspiracy theory and convince us one way or the other about it. Refute it or stick to it, and then we're going to try and question you about it. And what if a kid just fucking nails it?
That would be really funny. And then the teacher is just like, that's kind of is that, where did you get that? That actually is pretty interesting, you know. And all of a sudden he's just like, he's knocking down every single argument the guy has. That would be funny.
He's knocking down every single tower around. Yeah,
and by the end the teacher's in like a tinfoil hat and he's like, this kid's on to something.
He's fucking on to something. Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. Between that, I'm highly suspicious to the FBI being involved with the Boston Marathon bombing.
The FBI and the CIA, man, that's not like where things really to get messy and tricky,
because they're not the cleanest group of individuals historically. Let's be honest.
I mean, any topic that was brought up in that, you know, with the JFK assassination, 9/11, like the CIA and the FBI they have some sort of ties and mentions in all of those theories, which is not saying I know anything about what really happened. It's just interesting.
Yeah, it is.
They seem to be a common denominator amongst all of these conspiracy theories.
It's crazy that they put something like JFK that has had very reputable documentaries about what happened, because nobody knows. It's not a clean and shut case. It hasn't been. It's definitely not. They lump that in with people that think the earth is flat. Like, okay, like they put them in the same category.
There's nuance.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be fun to see how that is taught in districts across the state.
Well, luckily, it's being taught by Alex Jones.
Yeah, guest speaker today. We got out, some district down outside playing like
That'd
fucking.
be hilarious.
Yeah,
Guest speaker for conspiracy class. We got Alex Jones, baby.
Yeah, right down there in Gloucester City. They're going to have Alex Jones come in and teach the class, and then they're going to have somebody on the other side of it. Fucking
Yeah.
Rachel Maddow is going to be down in Fortescue teaching their. We're just throwing out random fucking town names, and damn, we're over an hour now.
Oh shit!
so
I gotta hit the road.